Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunn again. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton forged pendant called the Corona. This is the 136500. There's a few larger ones than this. Check them out too. There's also some beautiful matching pendants that can go over kitchen islands. They're under our kitchen pendant section on our website, so give them a look as well. Okay, a lot to cover here, so let's kind of jump into it. The size of the body of the fixture itself, and that's going to be independent of what it's hanging from, which is this, is going to be 5.9 inches. So you can call it 6. It's only about yay high, coming in about 18.25 inches in diameter. So it's about there. It's not a large fixture. People will use this in a lot of different places. They'll use it in stairways. They'll use it over like a breakfast table. They'll use it, some of these will go over kitchen islands, I think, but they'll use them in all kinds of different places. There's also a semi-flush version of this. Check that out too, and that's basically the same fixture, but it's really, really short. Okay? When we get into overall height, now we're talking about the distance from the ceiling to the whole bottom of the fixture, so it's going to be the entire thing. And if you're familiar with Hubbardton Forge, they have a patent on a telescoping rod system, this guy right here. So it's a smaller rod, telescopes into this bigger rod. Where they're going to come together is called a clutch, and it's right here. It has a little tiny hex nut right there on the side of it. So during your installation, you'll be able to bring this up and down to kind of get it where you want it to be. When you do have it where you want it to be, it's going to be locked into place by using just a little wrench, and you're going to tighten that little screw, and it's not going to go up and down anymore. You'll see up in the pull-down menus, you've got 3 different adjustable ranges. Remember, telescoping rods are going to give you a range, and this is overall height. So this is really the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the ceiling, those ranges. So let's go over those really quick. Short is going to be 29.7 to 37.1. There's a standard that's 36.5 to 44.1, and the long is going to be 43.7 and ending up at 51.1. If you guys need this to be longer than the long, let's say you have a big slope ceiling, tall ceiling, and you need to be longer than 51 inches, or you need it to be shorter than the short, but you don't want to go to that semi-flush, what you do is you drop me a quick email and you say, I'm looking at the 136500, I need it to be X, and it's going to be a solid number. So you're going to come in and you're going to say, I need the whole thing to be 24 inches long, or 156 inches long, or something like that. I'm going to take your email, it's going to go through Hubbardton Forge's customs department, come back to me with most likely a range, unless it's super short and then it would be fixed. But most likely it's going to be a range that can encompass the number that you give me, okay? So we do that all day long. It's not a big deal at all. Adds a little time and money, but the beauty of Hubbardton Forge is that you can customize these things because it's all made right here in Castleton, Vermont, okay? So up in the ceiling, you've got a 5-inch round canopy. It's going to go over your standard 4-inch junction box quite easily without a problem. This only weighs 11.2 pounds all in, so it only has to hang from this. There's no weight restriction whatsoever. It's also slope ceiling adaptable to 45 degrees. Right at the top here, right there, there's a knuckle. You can't even tell it's there. And what it does is it allows it to bend like this, so you can get your 45-degree slope if you guys need it. So it's just there if you need it, and if you don't need it, you just go to flat, and you're good to go. Okay? Excuse me. I want to hop into, we're going to be talking about finishes later in the video, but I want to kind of show you, this is a piece of a Corona off a larger Corona, and one of the things that people see all the time is, or say all the time, is that they think that the middle part of this, the inner part of this, is a different finish, like a golden finish. And what's happening is, this is your light source, this is the socket, which is right up inside of this. So the inner part of this is getting most of the light, and it's making it look brighter than the outside. But just so you know, the whole thing is going to be finished in the same finish. Just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So moving on from there, why don't we talk about glass really quick? So the glass on this is a really beautifully made, you see that? Very intricately made, mind you, piece of glass where the outer part is clear and the inner part is frosted. It's actually sandblasted. So that means that you're not going to be able to see the glare of a bulb. You're barely going to be able to see the bulb at all, but it's going to give you that protection. So it's a really beautiful piece of glass. I wanted you guys to see it because it's kind of hard to see it, when you're looking at photographs of the fixture itself. Really cool piece. Okay, let's talk about what is inside of this as far as lamping goes. Hubbardton Forge says this is a halogen fixture, and they're going to be shipping it with halogen bulbs, most likely 40-watt halogens, these little guys. So I would say use them to begin with. You can use them on any dimmer. It's a dimmable fixture, and since you're going to have the bulbs, you might as well use them up. These will last a long time, but if you guys do want to go over to LEDs, you can do that without a problem. I have a ton of different LEDs here that I got online. So I tend to buy my bulbs on Amazon only because it's super easy for me. But you can go to Home Depot, you can go to Ace Hardware, your local Ace Hardware if you want to go in there, 1001bulbs.com. These are just some of the LEDs that are going to fit beautifully in this, and there's all kinds of different variations on these. The ones that have the orange inside, those are called phosphorus LEDs, okay? And then the ones that look like a little corn cob are called, ironically enough, cob LEDs. And these have facets on the bottom too. Same deal with this guy. You don't have to worry about clear versus non-clear because you've got that frosted diffuser inside of that. And really it's just a matter of, wattage equivalent. So if you're looking for, let's say, this is a 40 watt equivalent, same deal with these two, this one and this one. This is a 75 watt equivalent. So it really comes down to, how much light do you really need out of this, just something to think about. The other thing I always talk about is the color of the light itself. So the beauty with LEDs is that you can choose the color of the light, and you go from like super warm to a white light. So when you're out buying your bulbs, just remember you've got a little chart that's going to be, it's going to be either on the page for it when you're online, or it's going to be on the box if you go to one of the hardware stores. And the lower numbers are going to be the warmer light. So 3000 Kelvin, which is the light that's coming down on my hands right now, that's kind of the equivalent of a light coming out of an incandescent bulb, the one we all grew up with. So it's just a nice warm light. Some people like that white daylight. It's really kind of in right now in the design community. That's outdoor light. That's that bluish white light that's considered outside. They call it daylight, okay? So that's going to be 4000, 5000 Kelvin. These are also dimmable, don't forget. So tell your installer if you are going to be using an LED in this that you have to put a dimmer on the wall that's set up for LEDs. And then just choose the color temperature of what you guys want. And I would just buy a few of them and try them out and see which ones you guys like. Let's get into finishes now. If you're on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over on this side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a tab. It's going to say Finishes Help Guide. Click on that for me. There's going to be a video on there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be talking about a chart a little farther down on the page. You'll see it next to me here. It's going to kind of go over the differences between heavy forging and non-heavy forging, and it'll be talked about in that video. So it's really important that you kind of watch the video, use the chart. You can click on that chart on different things. So you can click on dark smoke and a big page will pop up and show you lots of different things in dark smoke. Click on burnished steel or natural iron, it'll do the same thing. But it's really important that you understand how Hubbardton Forge's finishes are kind of divided into translucent and opaque and how they can look on different fixtures. Our showroom in Vermont has we're up to 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We have a What's on Display page. It's way up there in those red tabs again, so click on that and you can see what we have to show you. That changes all the time because we're always adding things as they come out. Showroom's open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. We have an amazing clearance center here too. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you were coming to visit us, bring a good-sized vehicle, something like a big SUV or maybe a small truck or something like that, because you might find something in the clearance center that you want to take home, and it's a lot of fun to go through. 75% off MSRP is an amazing bargain, so you should really take advantage of it if you can. Like I said, we're open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call us at 802-446-2400 during business hours. You can email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. We love to answer emails. When you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else even comes close to that. Some larger items are non-returnable. We'll always tell you about that. It'll be in the description thing, that part of the description underneath on the very bottom. So keep an eye out for that. We also offer a rush program. Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. They don't stock anything. That's how you're going to get all your finishes, your adjustable ranges to play with, all those things. We can cut that time in half, and it's super inexpensive. If you want to know more, drop a quick email, and I can walk you through the whole thing, okay? So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Love to see you in our showroom sometime, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.